From his soulful rise with the Miracles to his decades-long impact on music, Smokey Robinson has built not just a legacy, but a fortune. In 2025, his net worth is estimated at $150 million. But just how did he get there? We're exploring how Smokey earns his money, the secrets behind his luxurious California mansion, and the jaw-dropping cars in his personal collection. We'll also take a closer look at his personal life, from his longtime partner to his children, and the controversies that have sparked headlines, including recent sexual assault allegations and a $5 million lawsuit that's left fans questioning everything. So buckle up for a full-access tour through the highs, the lows, and the luxurious. This is Smokey Robinson, Unfiltered. What is Smokey Robinson's net worth? According to Celebrity Net Worth, Smokey has an estimated net worth of $150 million. That career comes from decades in the music business dating all the way back to the 1950s, when he formed The Miracles and became one of Motown's first signed acts. After they were signed to Berry Gordy's Motown label, which was initially known as Tamla Records, the band released the 1960 single Shop Around. The tune was a tremendous success, reaching the top spot on the Billboard R&B chart. During his time with The Miracles, Smokey earned a number of writing and producing credits for acts like Marvin Gaye and Mary Wells. After leaving the group in 1972, he embarked on a successful solo career and also eventually became the vice president of Motown. He has written more than 4,000 songs over the course of his career, from Smokey Joe to Soul Legend. How Smokey Robinson made his money. But how does Smokey Robinson make his money? William Robinson Jr. was born into a poor family in Detroit's North End, with an African-American father and a mother of African-American and French heritage. He had two half-sisters on his mother's side, and his parents separated when he was just 3 years old. His roots are a rich mix that also includes Nigerian, Scandinavian, Portuguese, and Cherokee ancestry. As a child, his uncle Claude, who was also his godfather and a close figure in his life, gave him the nickname Smokey Joe. Robinson later shared, "My Uncle Claude was my favorite uncle. He used to take me to cowboy movies all the time because I loved them so much. He gave me the cowboy name Smokey Joe. From the time I was 3, if anyone asked my name, I'd say Smokey Joe instead of William. Everyone called me that until I was about 12, then I dropped the Joe. I've heard people say he gave me that name because I'm light-skinned, but that's not true." When Smokey was 10, his mother passed away, and he went to live with his older sister Geraldine and her husband, who had 10 children. He attended Northern High School, where he did well academically and was a dedicated athlete. But music was always his true passion. He formed a doo-wop group called the 5 Chimes. Interestingly, he grew up just a few houses away from Aretha Franklin on Belmont Street, and said he had known her since she was about 5, often hearing her play piano when he came over to play with her older brother Cecil after her family moved to Detroit. Smokey's love for music sparked early on, inspired by hearing groups like Nolan Strong and the Diablos and Billy Ward and his Dominoes on the radio. He's also mentioned Detroit native Barrett Strong as a key vocal influence. In 1955, Smokey formed the first version of the 5 Chimes with his childhood friend Ronald White and classmate Pete Moore. 2 years later, they changed their name to the Matadors and added Bobby Rogers. Emerson, Sonny Rogers, Bobby's cousin and an original member, was replaced by Bobby's sister Claudette Rogers, who would eventually marry Smokey in 1959. The group's guitarist, Marv Tarplin, joined around 1958. The Matadors started performing across Detroit venues, and eventually, they became known as The Miracles. Their first collaboration led to the release of Got a Job, and from there, the journey took off. Smokey briefly enrolled in college to study electrical engineering, but dropped out just 2 months later to pursue music full-time after the Miracles' first single hit the airwaves. By 1959, Berry Gordy had founded Tamla Records, which would evolve into the legendary Motown label. The Miracles were one of the first acts signed. Their early success was explosive. With Smokey at the helm as lead vocalist, songwriter, and producer, the group became Motown's first breakout stars. Their hit Shop Around became the label's first million-selling single, reportedly earning the group over $100,000 in royalties at the time, a huge sum for a black R&B act in the early 60s. From 1960 to 1970, Smokey led the Miracles through a golden era. As their primary songwriter and producer, he was behind 26 top 40 hits. By the mid-1960s, he wasn't just a performer, he was also a top executive, taking on the role of vice president at Motown. It's estimated that during this decade alone, Smokey earned several $1,000,000, not only through his own group's success, but also by writing and producing for other Motown legends like Mary Wells, The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, and the Marvelettes. For example, a hit like My Girl or My Guy could bring in up to $500,000 or more in publishing and royalties during its peak. Even as Motown brought in new songwriting powerhouses like Holland Dozier Holland and Norman Whitfield, Smokey's influence remained. He continued writing for the Four Tops, the Supremes, and others, working alongside fellow Miracles members like Pete Moore and Marv Tarplin, who co-wrote and co-produced many of the hits. By 1969, Smokey was ready to step back from touring to focus on his family and his executive role. However, the surprise success of Tears of a Clown kept him performing until 1972. That hit alone brought in substantial royalties, estimated to be in the six-figure range just in its first year. His final show with the Miracles took place in July 1972 in Washington, D.C. After taking a brief break from music, Smokey Robinson returned in 1973 with his self-titled debut solo album, Smokey. Though it wasn't a massive commercial success, the album featured heartfelt tracks like Sweet Harmony, a tribute to the Miracles, and the romantic ballad Baby Come Close. These early solo releases helped ease fans into the idea of Smokey as a standalone artist. Though specific figures are hard to come by, his early solo work likely earned him modest profits, somewhere in the range of $200,000 to $300,000 from album sales, radio royalties, and live shows. In 1975, Robinson found his groove with A Quiet Storm, an album that not only earned critical acclaim, but also laid the foundation for an entire radio format by the same name. The title track and the hit Baby That's Bacacha helped push the album to become a sleeper success. With this release, he brought in an estimated $500,000, and the album cemented his place in R&B history. Still, juggling his duties as Motown's vice president meant his music career often took a back seat. A string of less promoted albums followed: Smokey's Family Robinson, Deep in My Soul, and Love Breeze, which didn't perform as well. During this period, his income from music dipped, and he leaned more heavily on his executive salary at Motown, estimated to be in the low six figures annually, possibly around $150,000 to $200,000 per year in the late 70s. Things picked up again in 1979, when longtime collaborator Marv Tarplin shared a guitar riff that sparked Robinson's creativity. That riff became Cruisin', a sensual slow jam that gave him his first major solo pop hit. The song soared to #1. 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was a number. 1 hit in New Zealand. Cruisin' significantly boosted album sales and earned Robinson a likely $750,000 from royalties, radio play, and increased tour demand. Building on that momentum, he released Warm Thoughts in 1980, which featured the moderate hit Let Me Be the Clock. While it didn't replicate the success of Cruisin', it kept him visible and generated around $300,000 to $400,000. Robinson reached another high in 1981 with Being With You. The title track became his biggest solo hit, topping charts in the UK and reaching #1. 2 in the U.S. That success brought in major returns. He likely earned over $1 million from the single's performance, album sales, international touring, and merchandising. A string of collaborations followed. He teamed up with producer George Tobin and released albums like Yes It's You Lady, Touch the Sky, and SR. None of them quite matched Being With You, but they kept him in rotation and earned a combined $500,000 to $700,000 during the early to mid-'80s. In 1987, Robinson made a powerful comeback with One Heartbeat. Singles like Just to See Her and One Heartbeat were massive hits across multiple charts, and the former earned him his first Grammy Award in 1988. The album sold over 900,000 copies in the U.S. alone, generating more than $1.5 million in total revenue through sales, licensing, and touring. That same year, Robinson was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a solo artist, though controversy brewed because his former group, The Miracles, was initially left out. It wasn't until 2012 that the Hall finally recognized the entire group's contributions. When MCA bought Motown in 1988, Robinson stepped down as vice president. He stayed with the label briefly, but left in 1991 after releasing Love Smokey. His next project under SBK Records, Double Good Everything, struggled to gain traction and failed to chart. Robinson remained relatively quiet through most of the 1990s, focusing more on appearances than full albums. In 1999, he returned to Motown to release Intimate, which included Easy to Love. In the 2000s, Robinson explored new territory. In 2004, he released a gospel album, Food for the Spirit, on Liquid 8 Records, and also sang the theme song for the children's series Todd World. In 2006, Timeless Love, an album of standards, was released under Universal Records, followed by Time Flies When You're Having Fun in 2009, which reached #1, 59 on the Billboard charts. In 2014, he released Smokey and Friends, a duets album featuring Elton John, Linda Ronstadt, and others. It reached #1, 12 on the Billboard album chart, and was a commercial success, generating an estimated $500,000 to $700,000. Robinson released Christmas Every Day in 2017, his first solo holiday album, and appeared on several television shows and specials. His mentorship through programs like Turnaround Arts also helped him maintain a steady presence in pop culture. In 2023, after nearly a decade away from recording new music, Robinson announced a fresh album titled Gasms, Smokey Robinson's Real Estate, a look inside his million-dollar homes. Smokey Robinson hasn't just made money through music, he's also made some notable moves in real estate. His journey into the property market began in 2002 when he sold his historic Encino home for $2.3 million. Built in 1912, the house was a stunning blend of classic architecture and California charm. Tucked away in a private, tree-lined neighborhood, the estate featured multiple bedrooms, lush gardens, and timeless details like wooden beams and stone fireplaces. It was a reflection of Smokey's refined taste and love for comfort with character. But that wasn't his only major listing. In 2005, Robinson put another California property on the market, this time a sprawling estate that showcased a much more luxurious side of his real estate portfolio. Originally built in 1882 in downtown Los Angeles, this stately home was carefully relocated to Encino in the 1920s, a rare move that preserved its architectural legacy. Smokey Robinson later became one of its most prominent owners, adding to the property's lore. When he first listed the home in 2005, the asking price was a staggering $10.5 million, a reflection of its grandeur and celebrity pedigree. However, despite its beauty and historical charm, the home lingered on the market for years, and by 2014, the price was reduced to $7.99 million in hopes of attracting a buyer. And it's no wonder the original price tag was so high. The 1.5-acre estate feels like a private sanctuary, hidden behind manicured front hedges and framed by towering trees. The home's exterior exudes timeless elegance with its stately columns, shuttered windows, and a balcony that hints at the opulence inside. Step through the front doors, and you're greeted with a wealth of original details, moldings, wainscoting, and ornate woodwork that speak to the home's 19th-century roots. The formal dining room features French doors that open onto a charming terrace, while the living room offers a cozy fireplace and elegant sitting area. A sunroom, flooded with natural light, invites morning coffee or quiet reflection, and the expansive kitchen comes complete with a breakfast bar, dining nook, and plenty of space for entertaining. Even the powder room is a showstopper with a fireplace and a rare tufted ceiling. Upstairs, the 5-bedroom layout includes a luxurious master suite, accessed through double doors and outfitted with its own sitting room, fireplace, private sauna, and veranda overlooking the landscaped grounds. Additional features include a private screening room, a wine tasting area, a gym, and a separate guest house. Meandering stone paths lead you through the gardens to a large pool and a covered outdoor dining pavilion, perfect for hosting under the California sun. Car collection. Inside Smokey Robinson's classy car collection. Smokey Robinson, the legendary Motown icon, isn't just known for timeless hits like Cruisin' and The Tracks of My Tears. He's also a car enthusiast with a taste for vintage elegance and modern luxury. One standout in his garage is a classic 1965 Ford Mustang Fastback, a muscle car icon valued at around $60,000 to $85,000, depending on condition and restoration. This all-American beauty is known for its sleek design and raw power, mirroring Smokey's own timeless appeal. Robinson is also rumored to own a Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud, a British luxury staple from the 1960s. These vehicles, which can cost upwards of $150,000, are known for their elegance and smooth, whisper-quiet ride, perfect for a man who made a career out of soft, soulful melodies. Another gem in his collection is a Cadillac Eldorado convertible, a car that was the epitome of American glamour in the 1970s. With tail fins and chrome for days, restored versions can run between $40,000 and $70,000. To round out his collection, Smokey also owns a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, likely the S560 or similar model, valued at over $120,000. This luxury sedan is the go-to for music royalty, offering performance, comfort, and cutting-edge technology. What sets Robinson's collection apart is not just the value of the cars, but the personal touches, custom interiors, unique paint jobs, and attention to preservation. For Smokey, each vehicle isn't just transportation, it's a statement. Just like his music, his cars tell stories of taste, sophistication, and soul. Inside his luxury watch collection, Smokey Robinson's sense of style has always been as smooth as his voice, and that extends to his wristwear. The Motown legend has curated a refined collection of luxury watches over the years. Among his prized timepieces is the Rolex Day-Date President, a classic favorite among entertainers and dignitaries alike. Crafted in 18-karat yellow gold, this iconic watch exudes power and sophistication. Prices for a Rolex Day-Date typically range from $35,000 to $60,000, depending on the year and condition. Robinson has also been seen sporting a Cartier Santos, known for its square face and sleek Art Deco design. Originally created for aviator Alberto Santos Dumont, the watch has become a symbol of innovation and elegance. A stainless steel model can cost around $7,000, while gold variations can climb to $20,000 or more. For performances and special appearances, Smokey often opts for his Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, a luxury sports watch recognized for its octagonal bezel and bold design. This sought-after piece can fetch anywhere between $35,000 and $80,000, depending on the materials and model. He's also been rumored to own a Patek Philippe Calatrava, a minimalist yet ultra-sophisticated dress watch valued at $30,000 to $50,000, celebrated for its craftsmanship and legacy. Personal life. Smokey Robinson's life off-stage has been as complex and soulful as the music he's created. In 1959, he married fellow Miracles member Claudette Rogers. The couple shared a deep connection through music and family, welcoming 2 children together. Son Barry Robinson, born in 1968 and named after Motown founder Berry Gordy, and daughter Tamla, born in 1971, named after Gordy's original Tamla label, which eventually became Motown Records. However, Robinson's marriage faced turbulence. He has openly admitted to having multiple affairs during his time with Claudette, including a nearly year-long relationship with his friend and fellow Motown icon, Diana Ross. According to Robinson, Ross ended the affair due to her friendship with Claudette, despite his insistence that he still loved his wife. During the course of his marriage, Robinson also fathered a 3rd child, a son named Trey, born in 1984, with another woman. This revelation led him to file for legal separation and ultimately divorce in 1986. Notably, the couple had previously separated in 1974, during which Robinson's emotional turmoil inspired his song, The Agony and the Ecstasy, featured on his acclaimed album, A Quiet Storm. In 2002, Robinson found love again with Frances Gladney. The two now share a quiet life away from the spotlight, co-owning a home and winery in Pittsburgh. Outside of romance, Robinson follows a healthy lifestyle. He hasn't eaten red meat since 1972 and practices transcendental meditation. His striking golden green eyes, he believes, come from his French great-grandmother. As of November 2023, Robinson also serves as the host and curator of SiriusXM's Smokey's Soul Town, a channel dedicated to R&B and soul hits from the 50s to the early 80s, where he reflects on the golden Motown era that shaped his life. Everything we know about the lawsuit against Smokey Robinson and his wife. 4 women who worked as housekeepers at Smokey Robinson's Los Angeles home have come forward with serious allegations against the music legend and his wife, Frances Robinson. In a newly filed 27-page lawsuit, the women accuse Robinson of repeated sexual misconduct, while also naming Frances as a defendant for allegedly enabling and contributing to a hostile work environment. According to the complaint, the women made it clear to Robinson on several occasions that his behavior was unwanted. Despite this, they claim he continued to touch them inappropriately, without their consent, on multiple parts of their bodies. One woman, listed in the suit as Jane Doe 1, alleges that Robinson assaulted her regularly between March 2023 and February 2024. She described a disturbing pattern. Robinson would reportedly drop his wife off at a nail salon on Saturdays and return home alone, knowing he'd be with her privately, then allegedly forced himself on her. Jane Doe 1 says she resisted his advances and reminded him he was married, but to no effect. She claims she was assaulted at least 7 times. Another woman says she endured similar abuse from 2014 through early 2020. Frances Robinson is also accused of knowing about her husband's behavior but doing nothing to stop it. On top of that, the lawsuit claims she regularly berated the housekeepers, used racially charged language, and fostered a toxic work environment. The women further allege that they were underpaid, denied overtime, and in some cases not compensated at all, despite working long hours or traveling with the Robinsons. Out of fear for their jobs, immigration status, or backlash due to Robinson's fame and connections, they stayed silent, until now. Represented by attorneys John Harris and Herbert Hayden, the plaintiffs are seeking $50 million in damages. No amount of money can truly compensate these women for what they've endured, Harris said during a press conference in Los Angeles. Robinson has denied the allegations. According to a statement from his lawyer, Christopher Frost, the evidence will show that this is simply an ugly method of trying to extract money from an 85-year-old American icon. On May 15, 2025, it was reported that Robinson was under criminal investigation by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Robinson's lawyer responded to the investigation by saying, "It is clear to us what is happening here. Plaintiffs filed a police report only after they filed a $50 million lawsuit. This means only that the police are now required to investigate." Smokey Robinson's kids. Everything to know about his 3 children. Smokey Robinson is a music icon, but to his 3 children, he's just Dad. Each of his kids shares a different connection with him. Some bonds are tighter than others, but all are part of his legacy. Smokey began his family after marrying Claudette Rogers Robinson, his fellow Miracles member and Motown's First Lady in 1959, Barry William Barop Robinson. Smokey and Claudette welcomed their first child, Barry, in 1968, nearly a decade after tying the knot. Named after Motown founder Berry Gordy, who also serves as his godfather, Barry's arrival was a hard-won blessing. The couple struggled to conceive due to Claudette's multiple miscarriages and their demanding tour schedules. Eventually, they decided to grow their family through surrogacy. Though Barry keeps a low profile and maintains a private Instagram, he remains close to his family. His sister Tamla recently shared a sweet photo of Barry and Smokey during a visit, showing the bond they still share. Tamla Claudette Robinson. Born in 1971, Tamla is Smokey's only daughter. She was named after the original Tamla label, which later became Motown. Tamla shares an especially close relationship with her dad. She's even called him her best friend. Smokey has said Tamla taught him more about life than he ever expected. Unlike Barry, Tamla is very active on social media, frequently posting heartfelt messages about her family. Whether it's a birthday tribute to Smokey or a sweet shout-out to her brother or mom, she wears her love for them proudly. Trey Robinson. Trey, born in 1984, was the result of an affair Smokey had while still married to Claudette. When Claudette learned the truth, it led to their separation and eventual divorce in 1986. The split was highly public, with Claudette reportedly receiving a significant portion of Smokey's estate. Trey has stayed almost entirely out of the public eye, and there's little known about him or his relationship with the rest of the family. Despite past tensions, Smokey and Claudette have come together in recent years to support their grandchildren. At a recent scholarship event honoring their granddaughter, Lyric Ontiveros, the former couple stood united. And there you have it. What part of Smokey's life interests you the most? His music, family, or luxurious lifestyle? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for all the latest updates.